Hello friends, I'm Coral. Welcome back to my channel. I've got a pile of books that are about to fall out of my lap. And as you might know from the thumbnail and the title of this video, these are the books that I acquired in January and, you know, basically since I filmed my last video. So some of it's like December, some of it is January. So let's see. As far as my book buying goes, I'm trying to be more discerning about what I buy. Things that I want to read. Things that I know I want to read. This is mostly that. But also, at the end of the year, in 2021, Barnes & Noble had 50% all of their hardcover books, so of course I had to hit that up. And honestly, I was bummed out because a lot of the horror section in my Barnes & Noble, I feel like is getting smaller and smaller every fucking day, and it is terrifying to me. Maybe that's why they do it. It's like my own secret little horror that the horror section is going to disappear, but also there are not very many hardcover horror books that I don't already have there. So I got a couple. I don't think any of them are like straight up horror. But then I also, like, I had some Christmas money that I spent at thrift books, you know, and those came after Christmas. And I've got a couple of subscription box things, and it's not huge, but it's a little bit bigger than probably I need. Soon my whole house will be books, and as much as I like books, it's going to be miserable. First here are some thrift book books. Again, also they strike with the very good, I guess Billy's not so bad, but like, I don't know. Don't tell me this, like the cover's almost falling off. Don't tell me this is very good. It's just so fucking irritating when they do this. Like, who looks at that book and thinks, this is like new? It's something I would expect if I bought like just a good condition book, you know what I mean? Anyway, first here is Billy by Whitley Strieber. This is an author that I really need to like eventually read his books because I've got 3 or 4 now and haven't read them. So this is about really simply a boy named Billy who gets abducted. And this one I think is a book that's going to be read soon. It sounds interesting. Honestly, more interesting than his other books that I have. I think I have Cat Magic and Black Magic and The Hunger and Billy. I believe those are the 4 Whitley Strieber books I have. Anyway. Okay, next I also picked up a copy of Relic by Douglas Preston and Lincoln Child. This is a Preston and Child book. This is their, I don't know, is this the beginning of a series, I feel like? Like where it might have the same protagonist, possibly, or it could be just totally wrong. Anyway, I've heard that their books are good, and it might scratch that itch that I have for thrillers or horror books that have some sort of like archaeological mystery or a history mystery or some sort of weird relic. And this is about the New York Museum of Natural History, and there are people dying in this museum, and I'm not really sure if it's like just staff or if it's visitors. Anyway, something's happening, and the wounds from these murders, the wounds on these victims don't seem human. And there's like this big event coming up, and who is it? Oh, a researcher, museum researcher. Margot Green must find out who or what is doing the killing. This just sounds right up my alley, honestly. I love this stuff. Hopefully this doesn't let me down. I've really recently, it's so weird because it's like, it's so weird how the internet is kind of like a hive mind where, oh, is that even really what I don't know. It's like, sometimes I'll be thinking about like, oh, I need to get this book. Or I've seen a book and I'm like, would that be good? And then it's like the universe through the internet is telling me that I should get this because there will be like dozens of people suddenly I see talking about this. And I don't know if it's just because like it's on my mind, so I notice it more, or if it's like, you know, not that. And just a weird coincidence. There's another book in this pile that happened with. Next though, I have Funhouse by Diane Ho. This is a point horror book, point thriller book. And this is about an accident at a carnival, a roller coaster accident, and everyone thinks it's just an accident, but the teenager in this thinks that it's not an accident. I'm really bummed that the copy of this is just like, just not good. It feels like if I open it up too much, the cover is gonna come off. And I don't want that. I might have to just get another copy, which sucks. Can you just send me the right copy the first fucking time? I've also got 2 Goosebumps books. This is the Werewolf of Fever Swamp, which is number 14, and then number 59, The Haunted School, which I've never read. I don't know if I've read Werewolf of Fever Swamp, but I do know that that was one of like the 2-episode specials that I really loved. My grandma had the VHS of that, and I really loved that one, and I really loved Stay Out of the Basement. But Werewolf of Fever Swamp was actually creepy to me when I was a kid, whereas Stay Out of the Basement was just fun. I don't know. Werewolf of Fever Swamp I thought was creepy. I also picked up this month Rabid by Bill Wasick and Monica Murphy. This is a history of rabies, but also how it's influenced our culture, which is like a twist on this that I think has got to be really interesting. It's got a fantastic cover, and yeah, I'm very excited about this. I know a little bit about rabies, but you know, and it's pathology, it's biology, I don't know. I know a little bit about how the disease works and, you know, why we get the symptoms we do when we have rabies, and why, you know, or animals, why they have the symptoms they do. I mean, people get it too, and it's deadly if a human I mean, it's deadly either way. But anyway, what my point is that this book sounds good. What's wrong with me? I don't know. All right, next here is 4 Past Midnight by Stephen King. I've read this before, but I don't have a hardcover copy of it. So here it is. This is one of his books with like 4, I don't know, would they be like novella length stories? Which one's in this? Langoliers, yes. Secret Window, Secret Garden, The Library Policeman, and The Sundog. Those are all in here. This is The Raptor and the Wren, which is by Chuck Wendig. This is the 5th book in the Miriam Black series. So I believe after this, there's just one more in that. And then if I read those last 3, I'll be done with the whole series, which is incredible. I also got a hardcover copy of Days of Magic, Nights of War, which is the 2nd Aberrat book. I really love these hardcover ones, and I've had, I think, like mass market paperback size copies of the first 3, I think, and I think that's all that there is. I don't think, I mean, it's supposed to be like a 7-book series, but he hasn't put a book out in this series in years, so I want to read it, but also I'm like, will there ever be a conclusion? Like, am I just gonna get wrapped up in this story and be sad about it, or 3 years from now there is a story, or there is another book and I have to reread the first 3? Anyway, these hardcover copies are so amazing, and I'm almost positive that Clive Barker does the illustrations himself. I know he paints, and it has illustrations in the book. It's just incredible. Such a upgrade from the little mass market paperback books. I also bought a copy of Stormfront by Jim Butcher, just because this is a series I want to read, and I really like to have a physical copy of the books that I read. It's just something that I like. And then it's easier to reference them in the future, you know, for videos and stuff. Whereas like books that I've listened to in audio, if I have audio copies or ebook copies, sometimes it's like, is that cognitive dissonance? Or I don't know. My brain is object permanence. I think that's what I'm thinking of. Cognitive dissonance. Oh my God. Where it's like, if I don't see the object in front of me, it's like it doesn't exist sometimes when it comes to this sort of thing. So here it is. It exists, and now it can exist in my brain. This is the first book in the Dresden Files. This is about a world where like, it's like our world, but in this world also we know that there are like vampires and pixies and goblins and wizards and stuff. And not Jim Butcher, Harry Dresden, is that his name? Harry Dresden is a wizard, and he is also a private eye, paranormal private eye. And so, you know, he does investigations. Okay, so the next three are the books that I got in the Barnes & Noble sale. So this is the other book I was referring to about how I had seen this, and then someone on the internet whose opinion I respect was like, oh man, this is so good. And I was like, huh, maybe I'll get that, you know, just kind of like a whim. I've seen Megan Abbott's books. She is a pretty prolific writer at this point, I believe. She's got quite a few books out. Oh, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is her 11th book. Yeah, so I've seen her name out. There was no reason for me to pick one up until this person said something about this book specifically, and I was like, that's great. You know what? I'm gonna put this on my TBR. And then like 4 other people were like, I really like her books. These books are good. And it's like people that I wouldn't expect to read this sort of a thriller. And so I was like, well, I've got to pick this up, right? This is about these women who own a dance school, a ballet school, and something happens right before their annual performance of the Nutcracker, and it just fills everyone with anxiety. And an interloper arrives, this says, and threatens the sisters' delicate balance. You know what? That's all I know about this. That's all I want to know. This is it. That's it. All right, next is Red Widow by Amakatsu. This one, I saw it be really buzzy last year when it came out, but I figured that this probably wasn't quite the book for me because I don't really love like espionage, spy thriller stuff, and the character in this is in the CIA. But then I learned that Amakatsu has also worked for the CIA and some other like secretive government organizations, and I was like, what the fuck? So yeah, I want to read a female-centered spy thriller from somebody who worked in the CIA. So this is about a character who feels like her job is on the line. She is a, she works for the CIA, and then something happens. Oh my gosh, I just don't even know. This is like so out of my realm. Something about espionage, something about Russia, something about the CIA. This next one I also picked up because of the B&N 50% off hardcover sale. This is A Solitude of Wolverines by Alice Henderson, and I picked this up because I saw there's like a sequel. It's like something something polar bears, and I was like, haha. And I was like, look at this. I said to my daughter, this book is about polar bears. And I was like reading the inside cover because I was like, that's weird. Like it was in, you know, the thriller mystery section, and I was like, wait, that sounds kind of good. But then I saw it was a sequel, so then I picked this up. This is the first book, A Solitude of Wolverines. And this is supposed to be about a biologist who is studying the Wolverines in Montana, and on like one of the cams that they leave out to track the animals, she sees like a wounded man. And so she's like trying to find this guy, and the locals where she is are like really unfriendly and don't want her to be there and are very close-lipped about what's going on. So it's like, I don't know, maybe a murder thriller? Okay, the last 3 books here are from subscription boxes this month. Unfortunately, I haven't received my Nightworms yet, so I won't be talking about those books here. But of course, I will do a unboxing video when that comes. But let's see. This is from Fairy Loot. I don't remember what month this is supposed to be, if this is November, December, January, I don't fucking know. Everything's just backed up, and it's not their fault. It's just the way it is right now. So this is The Year of the Reaper by Micaiah Lucier. I almost thought it said Lucifer, and I was like, that is rad as fuck. Anyways, this book is so like nice looking. The sprayed black edges, the gold and the black and the bronze, very beautiful. This is about like a lord a young lord who has disappeared on a mission, but then it turns out he's not disappeared, he's just in prison, but he is able to return to his home. Now, however, his family has been replaced and there's a royal court there. I don't know what the fuck that, like, how is that different from him as a lord and his dad? I don't know, is it his dad? The king? I don't know. Holy shit. I just have no idea. Anyways, there's like assassins, there's a plague going on, a young historian. Sounds interesting. Do you guys ever like take anything I say seriously? Because I just feel like I am, I don't know, losing my fucking mind half the time. So also in this package came this wonderfully colorful book that's like, or maybe, I don't know, urban fantasy romance, paranormal romance. This is about a girl named Elise, and she has the ability to predict someone's death. But she has a really hard time with this gift. And so this paranormal organization called The Veil sends a vampire to help her. And I'm assuming maybe Elise and the vampire fall in love because she can touch this vampire, I'm assuming, without learning of the death because, or I could be wrong. I mean, vampires can die, but I don't know. Actually, my theory is falling apart because vampires can die. And even if it's a long time from now, don't you think that Elise would see the death? Maybe it doesn't, I don't know. I haven't read the book. Why am I saying so much about it? All right, and then this one is from Owl Crate. I think this is the January box. This is the Ivory Key by Akshaya Raman, and this is about siblings who are working together to find something called the Iron Key, or the Ivory Key, sorry, that's supposed to unlock a secret type of magic that their kingdom needs, but the four siblings all have sort of ulterior motives for wanting this key, and that's all I know. Seems like it might go into that thing that I like, which I've talked about a lot today, where it's like archaeological mystery. Well, that is what I have for you today. Of course, I'd love to know if you've read any of these and how you like them. That's it though. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you later. Goodbye.